welcome into Getting Help from Uncle Sam. We have a candidate here who is amazing, an amazing woman, and we want to tell you, please, July the 17th, it is so important. Get out and vote. Get out and vote.
And if you're going to be on vacation, do it right now, absentee. Get that ballot, get it taken care of, get it back. It's very easy to do. I did it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Absolutely.
But we are so blessed.
Yes.
We're blessed to have Judge Michele Thomason with us. And Michele, we have had you on before, and I think that we were saying it narrows down at this point. You're talking about who is qualified. What are the qualifications? If you're going to vote for somebody to run a cotton farm, you're not going to hire a cattle person. You're going to hire somebody who knows what they're doing, has the background, and has the experience.
That's right.
And would you share with us basically what your experience is?
I sure will. Thank you, Virginia and Jack. It's great to be here again with y'all this morning. You know, you're exactly right about the experience, and I think that's really the one thing that sets me apart in this race from my opponent. I've been a civil trial judge in Baldwin County for 12 years. I was a practicing attorney for 11 years before that, doing civil trial work, both jury and non-jury and even appeals work. And I even have an extensive business background. Before that, I was a banker in banking and finance for 10 years with a business degree. That is important because this court, the appellate court here, handles the appeals from all the civil trial judges throughout the whole state when a civil case is appealed. So to have a judge on that court without any civil trial experience that's a pretty big deal. That's pretty important.
We're already behind in getting these things done.
Sure,
So
absolutely.
now you're going to get worse.
Absolutely.
For anybody who doesn't know, what cases does the Civil Court of Appeals handle?
Right. So, so as you can imagine, any civil case, if somebody sues you as an individual, or if you own a business and you're sued, or you sue someone else, and you don't like the ruling of a trial judge, you can appeal that to the Court of Civil Appeals. And those are the ones that the first thing that comes to mind. But what most people don't know is that 75 to 80% of the cases handled by this court are family law cases. And those cases permanently affect the lives of children and families in this state. That is an area of law that I have dedicated my legal career to for 24 years. And that's really the main reason I'm running for this court. There's not another judge on that court with the specific skill set that I have in having the family law experience in addition to the background, the civil trial experience to handle the rest. But the children and families it's a really critical area of law, and the law is changing in that area. Fortunately, I've been a part of that law changing, so I'll be ready to hit the ground running on day one with being able to understand and rule effectively on those cases.
That's wonderful.
Does your experience then make you far better qualified than your opponent?
Well,
I would think that you should have a lot of experience.
Sure. Well, I will say this, I'm the only candidate running for this position that has been a civil trial judge. Of course, I've done that for 12 years in Baldwin County. I'm the only candidate that has any civil trial experience, and most importantly, I'm the only candidate that's ever handled a family court case. And you know, one thing I hear when I'm campaigning is from people that have been in courtrooms in family law cases. Just yesterday at church, a woman was talking to me, a grandmother who has custody of her grandson and raising him. And she said, I can't imagine having been in a courtroom with a judge that had never handled a family court case, or having that a judge handle my case that had no experience. It is important. She said it was the most emotional, traumatic day of her entire life. And that's what it is for everybody. And when you do it every day, you recognize that.
You know, as a mother, there are a lot of things. I would have to make this comment that you can say a lot, but I like what I see. I want to vote for someone who is warm, who is a mother, who is a family person, who is caring. And I'll be honest with you, Judge Thomason, most of all, I admire you because you are not getting in the negative weeds and being ugly about anybody.
Right.
And that alone would have my vote.
Well, thank you.
And
thank
one other
you.
thing, you established a veterans-specific court in this state.
I did.
We have a lot of veterans, and I mean, we're blessed in the state of Alabama to have many
absolutely.
veterans. Give us a real quick peek under that tent.
Sure. Well, it's been, I guess, a little over 5 years ago that I started really noticing a trend in my courtroom in my criminal cases with defendants coming in that had military background, veterans, that were getting in trouble with the law. And a little closer analysis, I realized that most of the time there was some issue related to their service that caused them to end up in my courtroom. Whether that was an addiction issue because of pain medications from injuries or post-traumatic stress. We were beginning to see a lot of domestic violence issues, DUIs. So I started investigating that a little bit further and recognized that there was a real need. I never heard of a veterans court. To my knowledge, well, at that point we didn't have one in Alabama. So I started doing a little research and found a judge in New York had started one of the first veterans courts just a few years prior. So I contacted Judge Russell and did some training with him and went to a national conference, our first one ever, to learn how to do it. And spent almost a year planning that court and came back and started one of the first ones in the state. And it's a court that takes in veterans voluntarily that have been arrested and evaluates them for what they need as far as treatment or rehabilitation related to their service, and we get them the help they need. They go through our program. They are committed to their recovery, whatever that is. It's individualized with each particular veteran. They are matched with another veteran who is a mentor to them that they have throughout the entire program. And when they complete that process at the end of a year, however long it takes, their charges are dismissed, their case is dismissed, and they're put back in the place of honor in our community that they deserve to be in.
Right.
Well, I applaud you for doing that.
Oh, thank
if
you.
our viewers want to get more information about you, the website they can go to.
Yeah, it's Judge Thomason for Alabama. All of my information is there. I have my contact information as well. I'd love to talk to anyone individually as well if you'd like.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
just remember this, the election is a couple of weeks away. Do your duty, but more importantly, it's your obligation to get it right. We'll be right back right after this.